So now that we see a little bit of how foreign keys work, I want to talk about the other kinds of foreign keys that you can have. So in our admin, I'm going to go ahead and comment out the inlines because we don't want to see those at this point just because of what we're testing with. And I will revert everything back to what it is, but let's go ahead and try this out. So in our answer model, we're going to comment out question, and then in our question model, we're going to uncomment out this answers of many-to-many field. And we're going to take a look at this. So I'll do Python manage.py, make migrations, and it's giving me an issue with tabular inline. So let's go ahead and make sure that we have all this saved. All right, so we made the migration. So notice it removed the field question from answer and it added the field answers to questions. I'll do Python manage.py and we will migrate it. And then we'll run the server. And we'll go back into the admin and we refresh in here. Now what we see is the possibility to select many different answers. Right? It's very similar, but not quite the same. So if we wanted to try and add the tabular inline again, let's go ahead and add it in. And we refresh into our question model. It doesn't even allow us to do it, right? Because the answer itself does not have a foreign key to question anymore. We got rid of it. We took it out. So that's why the actual tabular inline itself is not working in this case. Now there are ways around this, but I'm not really going to get into it. The main part of this whole thing is to show you that you can have different types of associations. So although like with this one, many-to-many means that you can have many questions with many answers. Where the foreign key, the questions are associated to the one answer, right? The questions can be used again, but more than likely they're only going to have that one. So let's take a look at this again. Right? So I have an answer. It's going to have a foreign key only to one question. It's not going to be at multiple questions, right? It's just going to have the one. Where if we did it this way, the one answer can be on multiple questions, right? So this only had one question. This one allows that same answer to be on multiple different questions. And we can see this by this one right here. So let's associate these three. I'll hit save. So that one now has 3 in there. So if I create a new one and I say hello there again as a text, I can use those answers all over again. And it allows me to just really work with the answers in a different set. There are times to call for either one, but in general, the foreign keys it's a one-way relationship from one side of it, meaning the answer is the one side and it only can go to questions once. Questions itself can have multiple of them if it's foreign key, but it's not many-to-many, right? So when we do many-to-many, that means that each question can have many answers and each answer can have many questions. Where before, with the other foreign key, each answer can only have one question, although each question can have many answers. So we're going to go back to being this foreign key, just like what we had it. And there's one other foreign key, and that's a 1-to-1 field. So what this means is each question can only have one answer, and each answer can only have one question. And that's a field that we don't necessarily want to have. But the way that these are related are slightly different. So the way that you can actually get this information is just slightly different. It's not something we're going to go into, but this is a whole nother one that you can do as well. All right, so back to that foreign key, and we're going to do the Python manage.py, make migrations. And it's saying that we already have this default stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and just saying the question is non-nullable, like the answer can't be null, basically. So I'm going to provide a one-off value now, and I'm just going to say 1. So 1 as in the ID of the question, and then I'll do migrate and run server. And now I go back in here, got my questions again, and if I go into the admin, I can add those inlines back. And this one doesn't have any questions, and this one does now. They're back to where they were originally because I set that default value of 1. Okay, so that's a little bit more about foreign keys. That's really all we're going to cover in this one about it. But as far as foreign keys are concerned, they are a fairly interesting topic to learn about, so definitely check out the Django project and try those things out as much as you can. Of course, we will use foreign keys more But more often than not, we are going to be using the foreign key just like this, just on how we actually set things up. So you'll see more foreign keys as we go forward. And then you'll also see stuff about the query sets on how we can get all this data. And that's actually something we're going to cover in the next one. If you have any questions at this point, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.